5 things I would never do as a New York City renter. Never is a bit of a strong word, but you'll see what I mean. We'll go through it. Number 1, I would never move into a market rate apartment. So there's a slight caveat to this. If I was looking for an apartment that I wanted to live in long term, let's say 3-5 years or longer, I would really try and find a rent stabilized apartment because I want those reliable and dependable rent increases every single year. And with market rate apartments, the rent can increase as much as the landlord chooses. So I would really try and find a rent stabilized apartment. There's close to 1 million rent stabilized apartments in New York City. So that would be my go-to for a long-term spot. Number 2, I would really try and avoid living above a commercial space with food. This isn't always a deal breaker, but I've just heard so many stories from renters who live above restaurants or bodegas or grocery stores that have, pest issues, also issues with heat. So if you live above a restaurant or above a kitchen, your apartment might get really hot from that space. So it's just something I would try and avoid. Number 3, I would never move into a walk-up building that didn't have a buzzer. I've heard so many stories from renters who have moved into situations like this thinking it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but then they have to sort of go up and down, letting in, friends and deliveries and picking up packages. So it really gets tiring after, the 20th time of having to do that. Number 4, I would never pay security deposit and first month's rent and last month's rent because that is illegal in New York City. A law passed in 2019 that limited the amount of rent that a landlord could collect when you move in, so they can only collect a maximum of 2 months worth of rent, either security deposit and first or first and second, but never all 3. And number 5, I would never not take pictures at move in and move out. This can be really helpful when you're having security deposit discussions and figuring out what you're entitled to get back. What would be on your list? What are some things you would never do as a New York City renter? Let us know in the comments and be sure to like and follow for more New York City renting tips.